Hey there LEGO fans, welcome back. Alex here. In this video we will be building the new LEGO set Castle in the Forest by Povoq. This set is number 910001, contains 1,957 pieces, and at the moment does not have a price tag because this set is part of the recently developed crowdfunding program the LEGO Group is running through Bricklink. Most of you will be familiar with the LEGO Ideas program. Submit a design, gain 10,000 votes, and your design is eligible for review by the LEGO Group to become an actual LEGO set. While many amazing designs reach 10,000 votes, very few are selected by the LEGO Group in their final review. I am sure I speak for many LEGO fans when I say that their review process seems a bit flawed at times, as we are often puzzled as to why the LEGO Group would select one design when so many others seem so much better. At least that's my opinion. But I am just an AFOL who has spent 30 years collecting and spent an insane amount of money on LEGO products, but what would I know? Castle in the Forest is another one of those puzzling decisions from the LEGO Group to not produce, but thankfully, we all got another shot at it when LEGO announced it would run a crowdfunding project that allows some of these designs to still be purchased as long as enough people pre-order them. If it reaches 3,000 pre-orders, LEGO would produce the set, but only 5,000 would be produced. Needless to say, when pre-orders opened on July 1st of 2021, Castle in the Forest sold out in just 23 minutes. Based on an article from Brick Fanatic back in August, LEGO says a system glitch allowed twice the amount to be produced, bringing the new count to 10,000 units. So obviously there is a massive demand for this set. Right now this set is finally arriving at homes here in America, and many LEGO Castle enthusiasts are pretty bummed that they can't get their hands on one. Scalpers are already listing this thing at insane prices, so if LEGO is already pumping out 10,000 units and they see a huge demand for the set, making more seems like a pretty good business decision, right? Well, according to an article I read on Jay's Brick blog just 2 days after the launch, Jay interviewed Marvin Parks, who is the head of Bricklink and VP at the LEGO Group, who had something very interesting to say about that. When Jay asked if 5,000 units could be a lowball number, what were the contingency plans if demand surpasses what you have to supply? Marvin cites some manufacturing challenges, but also said that it serves the purpose of owning a limited edition set. If we increase quantity, the owner of the pre-ordered set, their satisfaction level would go down a little bit. That's what he said. So this guy, Marvin, is worried that he's going to hurt some people's feelings. Let me just say one last thing about this, and I will get into the build. In the last LEGO Ideas review, there were 34 designs in review. Lots of great ideas were submitted. The review team chose 2. The first one was the A-frame house, which I'll say looks very cool, and the other is BTS. Now, my son Josh and I, we looked at each other and asked, what the heck is BTS? I had to look it up. Apparently, BTS is a Korean boy band. Now, I know I am just one AFOL here, but I think I speak for many LEGO fans out there when I say I am extremely disappointed. The LEGO Group selects to mass produce minifigures of a boy band that generally does not appeal to the core LEGO fan, but will not produce a castle set that hundreds of thousands of LEGO fans would love to get their hands on, but can't because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. Now, I know I do not understand the whole review process and there are many factors out there to consider, but as a die-hard LEGO fan and as someone who I feel represents many fans in the community, I'll just say this. LEGO, you really messed this one up. Thanks for listening to my rant on that. Let's get into the build. Now, truth be told, I actually was not able to order this in pre-order. I was actually pretty late to the party and didn't know about crowdfunding until round 2 was well on its way. But I did manage to pre-order a copy of the Retro Bowling Alley, so that's cool. But a person by the name of Grant reached out to me and let me know he had mistakenly received an extra copy of Castle in the Forest and asked if I would be interested in it. I said, yeah, absolutely. So we arranged a deal where we would actually trade Lego sets. There was a Lego set I had in storage that he was interested in, so we mailed each other Lego sets. So just wanted to say a huge thanks to Grant out there in Texas for giving me the opportunity to have this set, because this is going to add a lot of value to my castle theme that I am currently working on. So what we'll do, of course, is a time-lapse build. We'll do, of course, a review of this thing, and I'll bring you guys up to speed on where I am with the castle layout. So let's go ahead and get started. And we are back. Here it is, guys. Castle in the Forest is complete. Now, before I get into any of the details here, I want to make mention, when I opened up the box here, I realized that there are no physical instructions with this thing. What you get is this card that has instructions for you to go to the app, download that, and then, of course, that allows you to get to the 3D instructions, which are okay. I suffered through it. I would much rather have the physical instruction booklet, mostly because my eyes are just not as young as they used to be. Grant did tell me you could go to Bricklink, download the PDF instructions, and even print them out if you really wanted to have physical instructions. But for the most part, it worked out okay. Not going to put too many strikes against it, because we know this is a new crowdfunding project, so we can't expect them to have all the fun details that we have from a mainstream Lego set. Castle in the Forest comes with 6 minifigures, which I think is a pretty good amount of minifigs. We'll start over here with the knight and his squire. Now, the knight does have a reversible face. He's got this smiley face here, and he also has a frowny face. I guess you could have the frowny face on him if he's not liking the answers to the questions he is asking. Then next up, we have these two young people who are the forest man and forest woman, who are skilled, of course, in a bow and arrow. And then we have these two right here. This rougher looking gentleman with the eye patch is the person who is on the raft for Castle in the Forest. And then we have this older gentleman here who looks like he is more in charge of the livestock. Now let's take a look at the exterior of the Castle in the Forest. Now, as we look at it from far away, obviously it looks fantastic. There's a lot of great angles to it as well. I love how these trees look like they're growing into the castle all the way around it, making it look very hidden, very old and rustic. But when you look at it a lot closer, you begin to realize there's a lot of detail, a lot of very small pieces that went into this thing to create the very fine details of this thing, with those grays, the dark grays, the sand colored elements, and of course the various different colors of leaves around this thing as well create a lot of fine detail that's really hard to appreciate this thing from far away. So the story for Castle in the Forest goes like this. The elders among us still remember that long ago there was a castle in the middle of the forest, an abandoned place where fugitives used to hide from tax collectors, forced marriages, and other evils of the harsh medieval world. The people who lived there used to be called the forestmen. They lived from hunting, fishing, and anything the forest had to offer. To be honest, they also lived from robbery, but only of the rich, of course. No one knows exactly why, but the fortress was abandoned around 30 years ago, and most people forget the existence of the forestmen. But recently, rumors grew about people that lived somewhere deep in the forest. A knight and his squire were set out to search for the old fortress and to find the people living in the forest. The knight was confident that he would succeed. Not only would he make them pay their taxes, but the castle could be useful for himself. What happens to this knight is a story full of adventures. I assume the people of the forest will not easily submit. They are the forestmen, and they are back. Now that we know the story behind Castle in the Forest, let's go ahead and take a look inside to see how these forestmen plan to protect themselves against the oncoming threat of the knight and squire. Now this opens up several different ways for you to access the interior. Both sides of this thing open up in very large sections to reveal the inside. You also have a door in the back that opens up, and then you can also remove the roof as well. To open the front door, you have this mechanism here at the top that you can turn to open and close it. And of course, if your guest is unwanted, there is actually a trap door just inside the front door there. So when your unwanted guest is standing above that, you pull out the axle here and your unwanted guest falls into the water below. So this first room is going to be what I would call the armory. It's got a lot of weapons in here, swords, bows, arrows, things of that nature. But you walk up these steps, and I love that you just can open up the entire side of the castle like this to see where your minifigure would walk. So they go up to this next floor right here. It's kind of a mid-floor on your way up to the top. But again, some more weapons here as well. But I love how there's this picture of one of the original forestmen just hanging up on the wall. I think that's a fantastic and nice little touch. But you'll notice, though, underneath that floor, there's these two areas here that are secret, that are hidden from the castle. And it looks like to access that, you could definitely be under the castle, but from the front of the castle, there's this tree branch right here. And you just remove that, and there's a big hole in the side of that tree, and that lets you get in here and access these secret spaces. The next level has a table with some candles on it, and you also have this nice little door that you can open up, and that goes to the side of the castle for a lookout space. You also have the option to climb up this ladder here, and that gets you access to the roof. On the other side of the castle, we have this, well, what looks like a big rock, but this is actually hollowed out. And on the inside, we have living quarters for our forestmen that is completely separate from the castle. And if we open this thing up, it reveals that there's a ladder right here that goes up to a secret entrance where the forestmen can actually enter or exit the castle via the chimney. Very, very clever. I like that. And also, if I lower the stairs here, or this ladder, we also notice that there is a dock underneath this castle. That means our hunter here, our fisherman, can smuggle in supplies, gold, whatever the case might be, underneath the castle right to our forestmen without being detected. Very, very clever. All right, guys, I think that's it. Thanks for watching my rant, my build and review of Castle in the Forest by Povoq through the LEGO Designers program. And of course, my castle theme is still in its infancy. I just cleared out the area below underneath my city, ready to start doing some terraforming down there. It's going to be fantastic to see that built. And this Castle in the Forest is going to be a fantastic addition to that. I've also heard a rumor, and I really hope it's true, that the 90th anniversary Lego set is going to be a castle, not just any castle, but a massive castle. So fingers crossed that that actually happens. In any case, this thing is fantastic, and I really hope more people get the opportunity to get their hands on this. Only time will tell. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.